Welcome, miladies of inestimable value. Sigma females live in a world that's both painfully familiar yet remarkably strange, because for them, normal is often nothing short of absurd. They're the type to look at society's most accepted customs and wonder, really, this is what we're all doing? It's a mindset that sets them apart, like wearing sunglasses in a world that's convinced the sky is only gray. Studies have shown that only about 10% of people identify as nonconformists. But Sigma females have elevated nonconformity to an art form. From baffling small talk rituals to relentless social media posturing, Sigma females see through these behaviors with razor-sharp clarity. So what exactly are these normal things that make them roll their eyes, laugh, or flat out shake their heads? Let's dive in and prepare to see the everyday from a Sigma female's unapologetically blunt perspective. Number 1. Obsession with networking as the only path to success. For a Sigma female, the obsession with networking feels like a strange ritual where everyone pretends to be best friends while secretly calculating what they can get from each other. She can't quite wrap her head around why people think shaking hands with the right people and collecting a stack of business cards somehow equates to success. To her, true success is built on skill, hard work, and genuine relationships, not by playing an endless game of professional tag where everyone's just hoping for a shortcut to the top. The whole idea of networking events makes her inwardly cringe. There's a predictable awkwardness to it. People swapping business buzzwords, forcing laughter at unfunny jokes, and attempting to make instant connections that feel anything but real. She sees through the veneer instantly. The goal for most attendees isn't to connect, it's to be seen, to be known, to feel important, and it's exhausting to watch. Sigma females prefer quality over quantity, so the idea of endless handshakes and social climbing sounds like an elaborate distraction from actually getting things done. For her, a real relationship isn't born out of strategic small talk at happy hour. It's built slowly over time through mutual respect and shared values. She'd rather spend her time in the trenches, honing her craft or doing work that actually matters, than spend hours schmoozing with people who won't remember her name in a week. To her, a real network is built organically, by connecting with people who genuinely align with her vision and work ethic. And if that means skipping the cocktail hour or the endless LinkedIn messages, she's more than fine with that. Number 2, putting up a perfect social media persona. To a Sigma female, the obsession with creating a perfect social media persona feels like a strange form of make-believe for adults. She finds it baffling that people will spend hours curating every little detail, filtering their photos, polishing captions, and staging moments to look flawless, all to build an image that barely resembles their actual lives. To her, it's like setting up a photo op in front of a messy room and hoping nobody notices the chaos lurking just outside the frame. This endless pursuit of digital perfection doesn't make sense to her. Real life is rarely tidy, often unpredictable, and usually far from Instagram perfect. And she embraces this messiness without hesitation. For her, the gap between reality and what's displayed online feels absurdly wide. She sees social media as a place where people perform their lives rather than live them, almost like a surreal theater where everyone's trying to outshine each other, not with substance, but with a perfect facade. Authenticity is everything to her, so if she can't be real online, she'd rather skip the performance altogether. She doesn't feel the need to constantly prove her life's worth or seek validation through likes and comments. The idea of living for an audience just doesn't sit well with her. For the Sigma female, true connection doesn't come from flawless images or catchy captions. It comes from showing up as your real self, imperfections and all. So while others chase the perfect life for the feed, she's busy living a life that's imperfectly hers, away from the spotlight. Number 3, playing mind games in relationships. The Sigma female finds relationship mind games not just frustrating, but downright absurd. The whole notion of playing hard to get, following rules about when to text back, or strategically withholding affection is a game she's simply not interested in. To her, these games are distractions for people who either aren't sure what they want or lack the confidence to communicate it openly. Sigma females, on the other hand, know exactly what they're looking for. and they don't see the need to disguise it with coy tactics or confusing mixed signals. For her, honesty and clarity are non-negotiable. If she's interested, she'll let you know. If she isn't, she won't string you along. There's no reading between the lines or trying to interpret hidden meanings because she values directness over drama. The whole will they, won't they dance feels like a waste of time and energy she'd much rather spend building a meaningful connection rather than second-guessing someone's intentions. She expects her partner to be equally transparent. Games imply a lack of trust or a need to manipulate emotions to keep things interesting, and that's just not her style. Sigma females want relationships that feel genuine, where both people can be themselves without worrying about who has the upper hand. She's there for the real deal, not for someone who needs to play games to feel in control or keep her hooked. In her eyes, if someone has to resort to mind games to hold her interest, they're already wasting her time. Number 4. The concept of perfect timing for everything. The Sigma female finds the obsession with perfect timing both bizarre and limiting. To her, waiting for the perfect moment, age, or set of circumstances to do something is often just procrastination in disguise. She doesn't believe in some magical point in the future when everything will align. She knows that life rarely works that way. Instead, she sees this concept as an excuse people use to stay in their comfort zones, avoiding risk and growth under the pretense of waiting for the right time. She's practical and understands that perfect timing is mostly an illusion, a comforting idea, but one that rarely holds up in real life. Sigma females don't spend their days planning for ideal conditions. They believe that if something matters, the best time to act is now. She would rather take the leap, stumble, adjust, and find her way forward than wait indefinitely for conditions that might never materialize. The Sigma female also knows that diving in and adapting is where real growth happens. Every challenge brings experience, and every misstep is a lesson. While others wait for that hypothetical perfect moment, she's already gaining skills, building resilience, and learning from every step she takes. This is what sets her apart. She's not paralyzed by fear of the unknown or fear of failure. Instead, she's fueled by the understanding that life doesn't wait, and neither does she. To her, progress, no matter how messy or imperfect, beats perfection standing still every time. Number 5. Blindly following life milestones. To a Sigma female, the concept of life milestones feels like an outdated, restrictive checklist imposed by society. The idea that life should follow a preset sequence, graduate, get a job, get married, buy a house, have kids, retire, seems oddly robotic to her, as if people are living their lives by a rule book they didn't write. She finds it absurd that so many people blindly adopt this path, assuming it's the only valid way to live. She knows that everyone's journey is unique, and she refuses to conform to a timeline that doesn't feel authentic to her. A Sigma female doesn't believe in rushing through life's stages just to check boxes. If she chooses to get married later, skip traditional milestones, or dive into a career that doesn't fit the mold, it's not because she's rebelling. It's because she's committed to living by her own standards. For her, life isn't a race, and she sees no value in following a one-size-fits-all path. She knows that true fulfillment doesn't come from meeting societal expectations, but from creating a life that feels true to who she is. She understands that there's no universal timeline for happiness or success, and she's at peace with taking the scenic route, even if it looks unconventional to others. To her, living authentically is the ultimate milestone, one that doesn't fit neatly into anyone's checklist but her own. Number 6. Enforcing politeness over honesty. To a Sigma female, the social norm of enforcing politeness at the expense of honesty feels like a strange way to communicate. She finds it baffling that so many people prefer to tiptoe around the truth, sugarcoating things just to avoid a moment of discomfort. In her view, masking the truth with politeness only creates confusion and a false sense of harmony that doesn't really serve anyone. For her, a bit of straightforwardness is worth 1,000 empty pleasantries. Sigma females believe that clear, honest communication saves time and builds real understanding. She's not interested in playing guessing games or deciphering what someone really means behind polite phrases. Instead, she values people who are upfront, even if the truth isn't always easy to hear. A little discomfort now is far better than the frustration that comes from miscommunication later. She sees politeness without honesty as a kind of social theater where everyone smiles, nods, and leaves with unspoken resentments or confusion. This doesn't mean she's rude. She simply believes in respectful honesty. If something isn't working, or if expectations need realigning, she'd rather address it directly than pretend everything's fine. To her, this approach is respectful because it treats people like adults who can handle the truth. In her world, honesty isn't brutal, it's clarity, and it shows that she respects others enough to give them the reality of the situation, rather than a softened version of it. For a Sigma female, clear communication might feel intense at times, but it's what allows genuine connections to thrive. Number 7. The pursuit of constant positivity. Sigma females find the relentless push for constant positivity not only exhausting, but almost surreal. This positivity culture, with its insistence on good vibes only and perpetual smiles, seems to ignore the reality of life's complexities. To her, pretending everything is perfect all the time is just another form of denial, a refusal to face the ups and downs that make us human. Sigma females know that life isn't all sunshine and motivational quotes, and acting as if it is can do more harm than good. She believes in facing struggles head-on, acknowledging the negative feelings, frustrations, and challenges that inevitably arise. For her, growth happens in these difficult moments, not by sweeping them under the rug with a forced smile. Pretending that everything's fine when it's not only delays the real work of confronting issues and finding solutions. Instead of bottling up her struggles to maintain a facade, she's more likely to pause, dig into what's actually going on, and find a way to process and overcome it. This approach may not look as cheerful as constant positivity, but it's honest, and that honesty is what allows her to move forward with resilience and a clearer perspective. She sees true strength in facing things as they are, not as we wish they were. So while positivity culture might pressure everyone to just stay happy, she's focused on staying real, knowing that's the only way to build genuine contentment and lasting confidence. For the Sigma female, it's better to embrace the full spectrum of emotions than to live in denial of half of them. Number 8. Competing over busyness. To a Sigma female, the culture of competing over busyness is not only laughable, but also entirely misguided. She's baffled by the way people treat their overpacked schedules as proof of their worth, as if constantly rushing from one task to the next somehow equates to success. This busy badge of honor just doesn't impress her. She knows that true accomplishment isn't about how many hours you log or how frantic your day feels. It's about what you actually achieve in that time. Sigma females value efficiency and intentionality. If something can be done in half the time, she'll find a way to make that happen, and then move on to something else that truly matters to her. She's not interested in endless to-do lists, unnecessary meetings, or activities that exist purely for the sake of looking busy. She's laser-focused on what's genuinely impactful, not what merely fills up her calendar. In her view, productivity isn't about looking impressive to others. It's about getting things done effectively so she can actually enjoy her life outside of work. While others might boast about late nights and long hours, she sees that as a sign of inefficiency, not success. To her, the ultimate achievement is creating a balanced life that allows for both meaningful work and time to recharge. She's not one to get caught up in the busyness contest because she knows that constantly chasing tasks doesn't lead to real satisfaction or fulfillment. Instead, she's focused on mastering her own time, working smart rather than hard, and living life on her own terms, not on society's stopwatch. Number 9. Forcing friendships based on convenience, not connection. The Sigma female finds the idea of forcing friendships based on convenience or past history utterly baffling. She's puzzled by people who hold on to relationships simply because they've known each other for years or because they happen to live close by, regardless of whether they actually connect on a deeper level. To her, friendships shouldn't be about obligation or convenience. They should be built on mutual respect, shared values, and genuine interest in one another. The notion of maintaining a friendship just because it's always been that way feels hollow and unsatisfying. Sigma females value quality over quantity when it comes to relationships. If a friendship doesn't serve a meaningful purpose in her life, or if the connection is no longer genuine, she won't hesitate to let it go. She refuses to waste her time with people who don't align with her values or who only seek her out because it's easy or convenient for them. Forcing herself to spend time with people she doesn't connect with isn't just a waste of energy. It's a betrayal of her own standards for authentic, fulfilling relationships. To her, life is too short to be caught up in friendships that are based on anything less than real mutual connection. She'll gladly spend time alone, refining herself and seeking deeper, more meaningful bonds, than to hang on to relationships that feel shallow or out of obligation. In her world, a true friend isn't someone you settle for because it's easy. They're someone who challenges, supports, and inspires you to be your best self. Anything less than that isn't worth her time. Number 10. Judging people's worth by their titles and possessions. The Sigma female finds it completely absurd when people judge others based on their titles or material possessions. To her, a fancy job title or a designer bag doesn't reveal anything meaningful about a person's character. She's not impressed by the superficial markers of success that so many use to define their worth. The Sigma female understands that these external symbols are fleeting. Titles can change, possessions can be lost, but a person's true essence is what endures. She values authenticity over appearance and substance over style. If you have a flashy car or a corner office, fine, but that doesn't impress her one bit. What matters to her is what's underneath the surface. She's drawn to people who are genuine, who know themselves, and who show up in the world with integrity. The ones who aren't pretending to be something they're not to impress others. It's the depth of character that truly resonates with her, not what can be flaunted or put on display. For the Sigma female, people are far more than their outward displays of success. What really catches her attention is how someone treats others, how they handle adversity, and whether they are living in alignment with their values. She knows that anyone can put on a mask or accumulate material things, but the things that really matter, empathy, resilience, and honesty, can't be bought. These qualities are what truly define a person's worth in her eyes. To her, if you need to flaunt your possessions or position to feel validated, you've already lost the plot. The Sigma female knows that the richest people in life are often the ones who don't need to show it at all. The Sigma female doesn't buy into the superficial rules that so many people live by. Whether it's chasing titles, pretending everything is perfect, or forcing relationships for the sake of convenience, she sees right through it. She values depth, authenticity, and honesty over the empty facades others put up to impress or conform. Life, to her, is about meaningful connections, genuine self-expression, and carving out a path that reflects her true self, not a checklist of milestones or a race to fit in. It's this unapologetic authenticity that makes the Sigma female not just unique, but incredibly freeing to be around. She doesn't play by anyone's rules, but her own, and in doing so, she shows the rest of the world what it means to live on your own terms. If you found yourself nodding along, realizing just how much the Sigma female's mindset challenges the status quo, then it's time to take that next step. Subscribe to the channel and join a community that's all about embracing authenticity, breaking free from societal molds, and truly living life on your own terms. Trust me, you won't want to miss the next conversation that challenges the ordinary and dives deep into what it means to be extraordinary. Hit that subscribe button and let's keep this conversation going, because real talk is just getting started. Thanks for watching, Jules. See you in the next video. Bye for now and stay blessed.